After the last episode, we left the building site with all the forms removed, and now it is time for the next task. Last winter, the sunken living room area got flooded, and it looked like this. And now we need to find a solution before the heavy rains start again. I am digging this trench so we can give a way out to the drains that we installed for the sunken living room. It's been in the to-do list for a few months now, but it's been tricky because there was not much space for the excavator to go around. Alright, so I just made sure that the pipes are actually going down. Make sure that before I move the machine back so much that I cannot reach this point anymore, that at least this is properly excavated and I don't need to come back. Worst scenario, I will do it by hand, but you know, I'd rather not. to call reinforcement because I couldn't do it alone. I stepped on the Vaseline and ruined the whole bottle. It's now there. We were able to install all the pipes. It wasn't easy because it's super narrow and the long pipes make it very difficult with the rubber seal. And now it's just a matter of, first of all, removing that piece of wood that is holding the dirt that we left over there when we made the hole. And then I'm gonna start filling by hand slowly until we have covered all the pipes. Make sure that everything underneath the pipe is solid, and then use all this dirt and put it back here. Alright, I was able to finish covering the trench. It's all covered now, as you can see, and it looks much better, man. So much space. Feels like a highway in front of the house. That's where the trench used to be, and now we just see these two pipes coming out. Wow, major progress, major progress. And now I'm officially ready to start with the next phase, which will be that gravel over there belongs in here.
Quema. The plastic is burning. It's too hot.
Are you too hot?
We are working in extreme conditions.
I have recently received a new machine for our off-grid setup. It's the Solix C1000 portable power station, and I have been able to test it in several different scenarios. I have taken it to the building site to work with me, charging all our batteries and powering all our power tools. Also to the cabin to protect our editing setup from running out of electricity, which is a big issue for off-gridders during winter months. And in a couple of weekends getaway in our camper van. It is a very compact power station, 15% smaller than the industry average with only 12 kilograms, around 26 pounds, but at the same time very powerful for its size with 1056 watts hour capacity, and it comes packed full of features, 11 ports with 1800 watts of output and 2400 watts of surge wattage via surge pad to power pretty much 99% of all appliances, and also with their beautiful ambient light. It recharges to 100% in just 58 minutes, which is 27.5% faster than power stations with the same capacity. And it also can be charged using solar with up to 600 watts of solar input, which will charge from 0 to 100 in about 1.8 hours. It features their long-lasting battery technology, Infinity Power, that has EV class lithium iron phosphate batteries with a 10-year lifespan and 3000 charge cycles. A smart temperature control system, ultra-durable industrial-grade components that guarantee 5 times longer lifespan, and a beautiful unibody drop-proof design. It provides a very important feature for us, the UPS, which stands for uninterruptible power supply. The Solix C1000 will power the electronics you are using in case you suddenly run out of electricity, protecting your equipment. I truly like their smart app control, which you can connect using Bluetooth and Wi-Fi to check real-time status and remote control the power output. You can, for example, know how much power you're using at any given time. For example, if I plug the chop vacuum at minimum, it requires 245 watts, and if I set it to the max power, it requires around 1235 watts. And if you ever find the need to extend the capacity, you can double it with an expansion battery that will connect over here, and it will give you a capacity of 2112 watts hour. Grab the Black Friday deal and enjoy huge savings on the Solix C1000 portable power station. Check it out now. I will leave all the links down below. It is extremely hot, probably like 40 degrees or something like that, but this is the weather that we have now, so if we want to make some progress we need to tough it out. This morning, as you saw, we were able to fill the sunken living room with gravel. We used the laser to make sure that the gravel is at the height that we needed, at the elevation that we need, and then we will have 5 centimeters insulation and then the concrete slab. We just need to compact it with the plate compactor, but it's up there and I don't really feel like compacting today because it's a lot of dust and it's too hot. So what we're gonna do is to start filling also the first 2 squares. Before we start filling this one with gravel, we need to add a vapor barrier around the concrete. It's a good practice, and since this is our house, we're gonna try to do it as best as we can. Price wise is the same. Having this vapor barrier over there, you make sure that no water, or not vapor actually, can go through from the ground to the concrete. For that to happen is very unlikely because we're gonna have it filled with gravel, but it's good to have it, so you know it's even better protection. Now we're gonna install it, and then after that we're gonna put the insulation in the inside. I'm making sure now that the distance from the top of this insulation to the top of the form is exactly the thickness of this, guys, because on top of it, whole thing is gonna be insulated. Perfect. We're putting the gravel here just to keep the insulation in place while we install the whole thing, and then we will fill with the gravel up to flush to the top of it. Alright guys, I think we're gonna call it a day. We weren't able to cover the whole thing, but it's much more work than what we were expecting. Eugenia is extremely tired. Eugenia, are you tired? She hit the tent with the machine in the last run, and we decided that it was enough. We need to have lunch. It's probably like 6 p.m. No lunch, 40 degrees. I'm not treating you well, Eugenia. But yeah, this is looking good. Everything is insulated, as you can see. Everything is secure. And now we just need to fill pretty much the middle, and of course up to the edge. The idea is to leave it like this guy, almost like flush to it, so we can put another piece of foam on top and pour the concrete. Lolita, you didn't come to work today. You didn't come to work either, man. Inside the building, there are no more forms to remove, and now I realized that one of the pipes broke. And by the way, I told you the other day that this pipe was broken. I haven't fixed it yet because I'm waiting for a PVC cleaner that is coming in the mail. I tried to fix it a while ago, but it didn't work. So I've been searching in YouTube how to fix it because I'm not planning to remove this whole setup. That pipe is connected already in concrete, and this one and that one. So this collector is set in place and won't move. I'll try to fix that crack over there. And it's not a big deal anyways because this pipe is just for the AC. So it won't hold like a lot of volume. So I'm not very concerned about it. Anyways, I'm gonna try to fix it so I can stop this crack and don't break it even further than it is right now. It's burning. Alright, so we walked for a couple of days without filming and we're able to finish all this area too. And now we're gonna jump on the last sections. Alright guys, we just received a very important order to continue the work of the house. It's basically all the material that we're gonna need for the heating and cooling of the house. After a lot of thought and research, we have decided to cool and heat the house through the concrete slab. In order to do that, we're gonna need to install pipes before we actually pour concrete. During winter, these pipes are gonna carry hot water that we're gonna actually be heating up with solar panels. That water will heat up the concrete around it and creating a huge mass of warm concrete that will be exchanging thermal energy to all the areas of the building. This type of system is called thermally activated building system, or TAPS, and it is a little bit different than your normal radiant floor heating, where they just heat up a small portion of cement that you put on top of the concrete slab or on top of whatever structural floor is underneath that thin layer of cement. That other system works too, but it has its pros and its cons. It is the same concept, you are heating up cement, but the big difference is, in our case, we're gonna be heating the full concrete slab. It's a huge mass of concrete. Due to this big inertia, the first heat up of the winter season after summer will take a while, but once we get to the desired temperature, it will be very easy to keep it like that during the whole winter, 24 hours, 7 days a week, with minor energy use. For this system, we have decided to go with Uponor. I have worked with them in the past in Los Angeles for some high-end residential buildings that we designed and built in Los Angeles area, and our experience has been always fantastic. So for our house, we actually didn't look elsewhere. They have over a century of expertise and are the lead brand in water solutions for buildings, both for drinking water and for heating and cooling. And the quality of their product is, under my personal opinion, the best of the market. One of their engineers has been working with me closely to design the best and more efficient installation for our project. And once the project was approved, we placed the order of all the material needed. We will actually have 8 different zones in the house. Each zone will be controlled with its own thermostat, and we will be able to fine-tune them individually. Since our building is very long, we needed to split the 8 zones into groups of 4. Each of the groups will have its own collector and a Uponor Smartrix base, which is the brain of the installation. But I will go into all the details once we start installing the system in the next episode. Actually, the next episode we do install the first radiant floor heating and we pour the concrete. It's gonna be a major episode from start to finish. So if you are interested in seeing how we actually install the radiant floor heating and pour the concrete and finish the concrete, I'm sure you're gonna like it. By the way, we also received all the material for the water installation, all the pipes and fittings also from Uponor, but I will show you all that material and how we plan on installing it in the future episodes once we get closer to that phase. Alright guys, it's been just me and Aspen for a few days working here in the real hot summer of Portugal. We're almost there, we just need to fill that last hole. Eugenia helped me up to here, and a couple of days I was able to insulate and fill with gravel that one, and this morning I was able to insulate that guy. I said there was only me and Aspen, but Lolita is also here, and the volunteer also, cannot forget about her. I will need to fill this guy, so I put the plastic, I put the XPS all the way down. At the moment that I start filling it with the excavator, then I will adjust everything perfectly. As you can see also, we left this area exposed. That's because we have a pipe there that we need to connect. That's the collector. It's already hidden in gravel and it's very solid, but we need to do an extension so it meets with the concrete slab. By the way, the tent, it's looking quite good, as you can see. It's not very pretty, but it's looking good if you ask me. Lolita, do you agree? I think at some point, unfortunately for my schedule, I'm going to need to build a structure there, like a solid one, for us to have some shade, because once you taste having a shaded area to work, I don't think there is a way back. But now today is the day that I finish finally this phase of the build. Alright, it's all filled pretty much. Just left this valley here for that pipe to connect. I'm gonna do a Y there and then up to here, 90 degrees up, and then I will cut it later once I'm ready to install the bathtub. It's gonna take a while though. Tomorrow I think I'm gonna come back and install the pipes that are missing. That guy and the other that I just showed you guys, and then top everything up with gravel and compact. That will mean finishing another phase of the house build, which makes me really excited. I'm not too sure if I'm gonna show that in this video or not, but if I do, then I guess the video will continue after this. lot of rain is coming, so it's gonna be a fun day. Have you seen the weather? Have you seen the clouds?
We are lucky people.
Today was not the day.